How was your holiday?
It was yeah, pretty good. I think I probably told you the majority of it. Basically just vegged out for the most part.
Yeah,
We didn't really do a whole lot.
yeah,
Um how about yourself? How was your holiday?
yeah. It was good. We're up in the tropics, so very humid. But we spent most of the time swimming and playing with those things. You throw them and they sink to the bottom of the pool. Um, I think they're called children.
I was gonna say floaties, but yeah, okay, children. Cool.
Oh, speaking of, I completely forgot. I have a little present for you. Just wait. I'll send it into
Oh,
chat.
okay. You got it.
So that's
Wow.
yeah, turned
Oh,
out really
this
good.
is when this is when we met. Oh, that's
Yeah. So
cool.
that's the picture of you when your wife gave you permission to play with my deck.
Yeah. Sonic Frontiers.
So this one, I'd actually played well before the bundle, and not on the Steam Deck either. It feels kind of dirty saying this, admitting it, but I used to play Switch. I used to play a lot of
Oh,
Switch before I
okay.
had the Steam Deck. Um, and
That
the,
actually makes sense.
yeah, it makes perfect sense because it's handheld. You can dock it,
Yeah.
and it's really convenient. I will say, at the risk of being burned at the stake like a witch, the battery tends to be better on the Switch.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but that's all I will concede to the Switch. Everything else is quite good. I feel like, however, this game did perform better on the Switch than it did on the deck, unless I'm remembering it
Okay.
wrong. Um, so this one in particular, like on the deck, the performance was yeah, you'd had to tweak it a bit. You did have to tweak it a bit and drop down to at least medium to get it a bit more stable. So like with tweaks, I could get it running at 40 frames per second. And the battery was really bad for the OLED deck, like 2.5 hours. That's not great. And like that's with
Oh,
the
okay.
the settings dumped as well.
Right, right.
But beyond that, it's a decent experience. Of all like the recent Sonic games, this is one of the better ones.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really familiar that well with the Sonic franchise.
Okay.
I had a feeling that you would probably have more insight to this because I remember you saying that you liked playing like the older Sonic games like
Yes.
back in the day. So I
Yep.
assumed that probably this one was way more up your alley than it was for me.
Fair. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I did enjoy the experience. It certainly seemed more accessible to me than maybe my memories of like older Sonic games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I told you, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
haven't, but my thing with the older like the ones on the Sega Genesis, I
Mm-hmm.
could never do like the loop de loops. I never
Okay.
figured it out.
Yeah.
And it frustrated me so much as a kid.
Yeah.
Um, but of course you don't have that problem here in this one.
No, no,
It's
it
just
it kind of hands it to you,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'm curious as to why that might be. Did you not know how to spin dash when you were a child?
I don't think so, no. See,
Yeah.
I only ever played those games over at my cousin's house, so I
Yep.
played it on his, like, Sega so it's not like I ever had any real time
Yeah.
with the game. I just remember whenever I did play it, I always got stuck in those parts and had to ask him to,
Yep.
like, help me through it.
Gotcha.
So that's why I never had any serious time with the Sega
No, that'd be
or with the
exactly it.
the old Sonic
Yeah,
games.
because
Yeah.
like obviously this one, this is just like going off a hunch here, but I'm pretty sure it's a modern game. It's got tutorial or at least like an overlay. Say, hey, do this, and you can control. You can spin dash or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was,
Yeah,
yep.
makes sense. Whereas the old games, all you had was the manual. Yeah, and you had to read through the
Yep.
manual for the instructions. And of course, no child ever
Right.
did read through the manual. So
Right, right, right,
if
right,
there,
right.
was one still around.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. But I think the biggest thing to me that I really liked was the sort of open world feel of the
Yeah.
game, just like that like I've told you before, like, I just like those kind of, like, checklist type stuff, it's
Yeah.
very cathartic for me,
Mm.
and I felt the same way here
Yeah.
with this game.
Yeah, they did it really well. Your video as well, you said it felt very Breath of the Wild kind of thing.
Yeah,
This,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this came out after that. I don't know if the developers admitted to it, but it was definitely heavily inspired by that.
It felt like it, yeah.
Mm.
Like, you even have that moment when you're done with the tutorial now, granted, it's a bit further it's a bit, like, further along than in Breath of the Wild, but
Mhm.
basically it's that same sort of scene where you go over the ridge and then it's just like vast open area
Yeah.
for you to explore
Yeah.
and get all the collectibles and everything
Yeah.
else. And yeah.
Yeah.
They even have like little dudes that you have to find, just like
Yep.
the Koroks
Yep.
in Breath of the
Exactly the
Wild.
same. Yep. Quite right. Quite right.
So yeah.
With with this one, obviously they had the blend of the open world exploration, but then also those the levels, like the more traditional
Hmm.
Sonic levels. And again, this when I say traditional, it's the 3D. I wouldn't go
Yeah.
as far as to call that traditional Sonic, but I don't know whether like those the actual level structure dragged down the game or not. Because obviously you had to do something. You couldn't just have the whole thing open world and that's
Right.
it. It'd be way too
Right.
sandboxy. But that was definitely the best part of it, like especially with those boss battles and whatnot that you had happening in the open
Yes.
world.
Yes. I had the same thought. Like I as I was thinking about this for our talk, I was sort of like just almost it almost felt like those levels were there to remind everyone like, hey, it's still a Sonic game.
Yeah,
But they do feel kind of out of place
yeah,
next to like the open world and go anywhere you want and tackle these things at your own pace,
yeah,
kind of thing. It did feel kind of strange. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah. No, I agree completely. I wonder if they would have benefited more from doing like a Mario Odyssey approach to it, where it's very open world, but it's levels in that like each level is its own open world, and you go and do different tasks there and get the different things.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I've never played Mario Odyssey, but I'm
Mhm.
guessing it kind of sounds like Super Mario 64 then,
Yeah,
right? Like you
just
jump into the paintings and it's kind of like got this open area. Granted, I'm sure a
yeah.
lot smaller than anything in Odyssey, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And not just that, I would
Okay.
say like the area is very dense in things you can do as well. Like there's so yeah, every step is a dopamine hit basically in that game.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, and obviously like Mario Sonic rivals for years, like well, sorry, decades is probably more accurate now.
Right.
And they've
Right.
borrowed stuff from each other like constantly over and over again. I'm curious as whether they actually considered implementing some of the stuff from Mario Odyssey or whether it just seems too hard. Because I do feel like this game was rushed as well. And I think there was mention of that as well online before it came out, that it was kind of rushed to
Okay.
release. Because that open world does feel extremely barren.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's stuff to do, but it doesn't feel lived in. And I get the whole name's like Frontier. Of course, it's not going to have, population, civilizations, that kind of thing. But even then, it still feels very empty.
Honestly, that's why I kind of compared it to Breath of the Wild. Like sure, Breath of the Wild does have like, little villages here
Mm,
and there and places like that, but for the
mm,
most part, it feels like very kind of empty to
yeah.
me. Like beautiful,
Mhm.
but fairly lacking of anything other than maybe like, oh, there's a random enemy camp, or
Mhm.
basically like, yeah, all those little here's all these little things to go and interact with to find that Korok seed or kill these enemies to get some weapons or whatever items into
Mm.
your inventory kind of thing.
Mm.
And that's why I kind of like compared it to that because it
Mm.
felt the same way to
Mhm.
me.
I do think that yeah. Now that you mentioned, I didn't consider Breath of the Wild to feel um like I don't know if I'd call it empty, but like so open in those areas that weren't towns, that kind of thing, or enemy camps.
Yeah.
Um, but I still feel like this one feels worse than that in terms
Oh
of there
yeah.
being nothing, just
I would
because
say I would agree with
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, because there are no enemy camps and cities, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and even visually, I
Mm,
definitely prefer
mm.
Breath of That was actually one thing. I don't know how much of this you played back when you played it on the Switch, but does the overworld ever like change in like how it looks, or does it always just look like the beginning of the game?
I actually got very close to completing the game and didn't get round to it. It felt pretty similar throughout the whole thing. There were like
Oh,
slight changes. So
okay.
there is a desert area, but it's just
Oh,
like
okay.
open desert pretty much. And there's like
Right.
like that Aztec kind of feel that they often do for like third, maybe fourth world in the classic Sonics.
Okay.
And I mean, granted, it was more stone and more grass, but it was still very barren, very empty, very lonely feeling world, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I like one of the things that I said in my review was that like I felt that it felt kind of like drab, like kind of like muted a bit.
Yeah, yeah. That's the best way of
Visuals of
explaining
the
it.
open world, like as opposed to the levels, which I
Hmm
thought were a bit more like vibrant and saturated
Mm,
in color, like trying to, harken back to the quote unquote traditional um Sonic levels.
right.
And that so it felt kind of off, like if they just went for, especially that at least the first, that open area that you start the game in, it seems
Mm,
very very basic.
hmm
Like it's like a very typical kind of like, oh yeah, there's like rolling hills and
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
and if you compare that over to like Breath of the Wild, like yeah,
hmm
you certainly get stuff like that, but there's also like, many more interesting like landscape features and things
Yeah.
like that
Yep.
that marks it
That
better
variety.
than,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yep.
No, I think to date the best Sonic game ever is Sonic 3 on the Sega Genesis. To the point
Okay.
that there aren't that many retro games I go back and play, but over the years I've gone back to play that one maybe 3 times, 4 times. It is so good.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and since then, like it's dropped off. And this is 2D Sonic. The 3D Sonics have never held a candle to it. And yeah, like the modern Sonics have not done so well. This one is the first one in a while that's done so well. So I think Sonic Generations was one that did quite well because it went back to its 2D roots and had some
Oh,
interesting like
okay.
classic Sonic and modern Sonic combined together. And the modern Sonics were pretty good. To give credit where credit is due. But then after that, again, it was just this slew of bad Sonics until very very funnily actually, a fan started making a well, it's a fan made game, basically using sprites from the old Sonics, and it was done as a continuation after the events of Sonic 3, and
Okay.
it was they were making it so well that Sega actually picked it up and published it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not what I expected you to say.
no, no, not at all. It's not
I
Nintendo. Like
expected cease and desist.
no, Sega are very different from Nintendo. Yeah. So yeah, no, they loved it. I can't remember the details, but someone high up in Sega heard about it, and then like got in touch and loved it and released it, and it was a huge hit. It's like of all the recent releases for the Sonic series, it's the most successful one, and it
Oh, really?
because it's
Wow.
it's gone
Okay.
back to the roots. It's from by a fan who understood what makes Sonic Sonic and ran with it. It's yeah. So
That's
that's
cool.
that's Sonic
Yeah.
Mania. It's such a good game. I do recommend it for people who wanted
Okay.
to have more of that classic Sonic feel. And
Okay.
very interestingly, you actually start the game in the final world and go from there. It's a really cool concept.
Okay, so the final world from Sonic 3.
Yep, is
I see.
is the
Okay.
starting world
That's neat.
from and yeah, yeah. It's really really trippy if you ever played the Sonic 3.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's cool.
Tomb Raider 4, 5, 6 remastered.
Okay. So we are back again with the next remastered collection of Tomb Raider. Um, and it's my my thoughts on this have basically remained the same as when we talked about this,
Mm.
like what, almost 10 months ago or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Um, it's it's dated. The controls are clunky, even with the modern controls are still kind of clunky.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so I was originally going to like showcase this moment in the when I was doing my playthrough of it,
Mm-hmm.
where I could not jump to this area to like catch the ledge and get into this like crawl space that I
Mm-hmm.
needed to get into. And I was going to use that to showcase like just how bad the controls are. But I realized after the fact it's that I didn't really understand what I needed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also because the tutorials are so bad
Mm-hmm.
because they don't tell you what buttons to press So they're just like literally you'll be like starting the game, and in any of them actually they all have some sort of like monologuing where they're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
we should press like the left button and or like press the walk button and walk up to the edge to
Mm.
jump or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but they don't tell you what those buttons are.
No.
And they don't let you look at a controller map like in the options menu so that you could see what those buttons are.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of just left to wonder. So the one thing is I was using it was saying like to catch a ledge. In the one part it was like, oh, press the like jump and then press the action button.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pressing the action button again and again. And I'm like, I'm not making this, like, I'm not catching the ledge. I'm like,
Mm.
what's going on?
Mm.
I ended up like Googling it, and there is a second action button. And that is the button you have to click when you catch a ledge.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And then like the biggest like insult to injury kind of thing is the fact that that one in my video I showed like that one bit where they actually show a button prompt of like how to crawl backwards or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't they put button prompts on literally everything else so that we could learn how to play this game? Um,
It seems like an odd choice for remaster because surely that would be like the issue that most, I would say the entire mod audience would have with it is unintuitive controls because they are
right.
extremely unintuitive. I mean, you've got the tank joystick controls to begin with, but then you've got,
Yeah.
as you said, like X to jump, and then not one but two action buttons, and yeah, it it does obviously like all the sound, the dialogue is set in stone. I get that, but putting it in the overlay, I mean, they revamped the graphics entirely. Like, surely they could have put in an overlay for the
Yeah,
remastered
like
versions to do it.
just a very simple, yeah, like just a very simple thing. And yeah, they just couldn't be bothered, I guess. But yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, this feels very much like it's basically how I rated them. But this is for people who already were fans of Tomb Raider and have already played the games,
Mm,
and it's not really for people like who are just kind of like curious about the games.
yeah,
Maybe if they are like they really want to play the old Tomb Raider games, maybe those people will get through. But someone who just wants to like pick it up to like just check it out,
yeah,
they're gonna they're gonna check out really
yeah,
fast once they start trying to play.
100%. If this was like the Christmas stocking, these are the socks you got from that estranged aunt.
Right, right. The one where you're just kind of like, oh, thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
never wear
exactly.
them because they're like Christmas themed socks or something like that.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, exactly. The other thing that I thought about when when I first clicked to play the game, I chose so I played all three of them for a little bit of time,
Hmm.
and the first one I did was Tomb Raider 4, but they had
Okay.
like a new game
Hmm.
and like um some other like like New York Times something or other,
Mm.
and I wasn't really quite sure what that is. I clicked on it. I'm pretty sure it was some sort of expansion or something to Tomb Raider
Okay.
4, like some sort of like expansion story or whatever. Um Anyways, that starts you in like some Egyptian tomb where you're following up on something like Tutankhamun's tomb or something like
Okay.
that. And in there was like these statues of these dogs.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'm gonna have to fight these things, ain't I? And then, sure enough, yeah, I did have to fight them. And I'm
Yeah.
just thinking of our conversation, just like, here we go again. Laura Croft just murdering all the animals.
You would have thought they learned, but no.
Yeah, I actually had a missed opportunity. I before I started editing the video, I was thinking about it and I meant to put it in.
Yeah.
This like meme, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but so the current campaign in Critical Role is
Yeah.
being DM'd by Brendan Lee Mulligan,
Okay.
and he has this meme where he was DMing for Dimension 20, I think is what he came from.
Hmm.
And there's this particular bit in there where he is this enemy that he's controlling just did like a huge amount of damage to someone's dog,
Mhm.
and they're just like, "Oh, you horrible person!" And he's just like, "I'm gonna kill that dog." And I was thinking like, "Oh, what that meme right there?" Because I was like, "It's so perfect,"
That would have been
but I missed
perfect.
the chance to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah. And the other thing I wanted to point out, since we're also on that, is because we were talking about last time how it like pretty much she only ever like killed animals in
Yeah.
those like
Yeah, yeah.
original games. Well, there was actually a bit in Tomb Raider 5,
Yeah.
like early on, where you're actually shooting, like people are shooting you and you are
No.
shooting at people.
No.
Yeah.
Lara Croft has
Yeah.
evolved
Yes, she's
as
a
a
murderer
killer.
now.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting, seeing as how we hadn't really um seen stuff like that
Yeah.
before. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, like I don't know, like even the last game, Tomb Raider 6, like you could kind of
Mhm.
see where there was some evolution, like in the gameplay.
Okay.
Um, like they tried to make certain things a bit more contextual, like
Mhm.
trying to like getting onto like some ledge or something like that would be, you didn't need to press like a separate button to try and do that
Okay.
like you would in like the previous
Yeah.
games. And I guess another thing they tried like doing was like a stamina bar,
Mhm.
where like as you're climbing you would have like stamina draining,
Mhm.
um which on paper sounds interesting, but in practice I imagine it's
Sounds
got to be
extremely
probably really
finicky.
annoying.
Yeah.
um and then the other thing is kind of this evolution that we started seeing with like a bunch of other games, like shooters especially, but like the move away from like health pickups and
Mhm.
more to like, oh, you found like a piece of bread kind of thing. It's
Mhm.
the similar thing here. Like she's searching the drawers and she finds a chocolate bar, and
Mhm.
that chocolate bar heals her like 20 health or something,
Mhm.
instead of like the small health pack or something like
Yeah.
that. Um so you
Okay.
kind of see that, but I just don't think that it's like, it's not, it's still like, it's still got that old sort of like
Yeah.
clunky jank, I
Yeah.
guess. Um, that only people who've played the originals would probably be able to get over.
I don't know because I played certainly the first one and I think the second one like back in the day, and I think gamers have evolved over the years as well along with the games, and so going back
Right.
to it, like we have these nostalgic goggles on, but when we get to it, it doesn't live up to the hype that we built it up to be in our minds.
Well, that's certainly true. I mean, I think we even talked about this like last time. Just basically, like anytime you look at like these remastered things, and
Mm.
they'll have like, you look at the achievement percentages, and they
Mm.
just barely anybody has like got like the very first achievement, which is basically like turn the game on and click start,
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I you're probably right. Like I'm sure there's like a certain number of people who look back at these games like, oh yeah, this was an amazing experience, when they start playing it and they're
Mm.
like, wow, I don't have I don't have the patience for this
Mm.
anymore. Yeah. But, bottom line, once again, it's a nice bit of gaming history that I have in
Yeah.
my library that
Yeah.
will sit there, I guess, and
Yep.
I'll probably never get touched, but
No. Collects
it
virtual
guess it's
dust.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. Hunt Showdown
Mm.
1896.
I didn't realize you'd put a lot of time into Hunt Showdown in the past as well.
Yeah, not as much as you. I saw the Steam for, so
How
this
much
seemed
do
to
I
be your
have?
game then for a while.
It was
I
my
think
game
you
for a
had
while.
I think you had like close to like 100 hours almost
Damn,
into
son.
it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Too
Yeah.
bad I wasn't
Yeah.
good, but
Right. I'm the same way, though. I have like far less, like only, like I said, like a modest like 15 or
yeah.
so, 16 or something like that.
Oh, I'm starting to remember some of it. I was at the end there definitely mostly playing meme builds. So I was going with,
Really? Okay.
yeah, like I loved using the crossbow just because it's not that effective, but it's so annoying because it doesn't make any sound.
Okay.
But like,
Oh, okay.
especially like the crossbow with dynamite, that is so much fun. Just lobbing it, like launch it through the window and blowing stuff up.
I never really played it long enough at any given time to even think about my builds. My whole thing was just like, I'll just go in, and if I die, I die, and
Hmm.
I don't really care, because like I
Hmm.
never played it long enough to get serious enough to start
Mm-hmm.
thinking about like how can I like build out my character.
Mm. No, I'd read with a trio and everything.
Okay.
The game's quite old now, though, isn't it? When
It is now. Yeah,
when
I
was it
mean,
released?
oh, that's a good question. I think the reason why we like that's why they tagged on that 1896 is because
Yeah,
it I think that was what that was like its well no that wasn't its like release date. Okay, so it says initial release date February 2018.
yeah,
Um
yeah. I thought so. I thought it was about like 8 years, so 7. Well, I'm sorry.
and
It's
it was
2026 now. It
I
is eight
think it was
years.
like early access in the start.
Yeah,
Um and then eventually
yeah.
got a
So
1.0.
I'm pretty
But
sure I joined early No, I didn't join early access. So a friend of mine like caught wind of this early. This is the same friend who pretty much like carried us through Rainbow Six Siege. And
okay, yeah.
so like he loves these games with immersion, like especially when you've got like sounds to alert you of people, or rather directional sound.
Right.
Like I think Siege was one of the first ones to do it, or at least like so accurately. But like that's pretty much the kind of gamer he is. He wants that like realistic immersion where you can do strategy and whatnot as a team. And we had lots of fun. Him and another friend doing that quite regularly. So this one. I mean, if you look at it these days, it's not that new. But like Extraction at the time wasn't that big. The Extraction genre.
Yeah.
But especially like that, it's kind of co-op, and it's PvE for the most part. But all of a sudden, it can turn into PvP. Is
Hmm.
It's addictive. It's extremely addictive because you never know when you're gonna get ganked. After you've like some of the worst cases where because you're not sure if there are other people on the map, if there are other teams
Yeah.
on the map, if they haven't given
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
away.
Yep.
And so there was one where I'm pretty sure we took out all three of the monsters, and
Uh-huh.
then we're gonna haul it off, and then ended up getting ganked. And we've done the same thing as well, where we've ganked people just before the exit. It's such a dynamic, uh, like cooperative and competitive game all at the same time. Everything shifts so quickly. It's a really cool imagining. I mean, plus the whole theme as well, like the whole occult combined with Western. That's always a sure hit for me, and I think a lot of other people as
Mm.
well. It's just so unique and so interesting. It comes back to that other one as well. I think we're gonna have to do name that game.
Okay.
Go. So this was the same thing, occult, but Western. It's designed to be solo, but we played it co-op together. Um, we had like the lightning gloves where we could punch like
Oh,
the zombie
oh,
vampire things.
Evil West.
Yeah, that's the one. Well done.
Evil West.
It's Evil
Nice.
West. Yeah. So it's a genre. And there's other ones as well. There's like Hard West. One which we're
Yeah.
interested in, and
I've,
Hard
I've
West Two
seen of
now as
that.
well, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just to name a few.
There was Weird West was
Weird
another one
West,
that
yeah.
immersive sim.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep. So it's a very popular genre. In fact, I'm sure there've been before that there were tabletop games as well where it was Weird West. What is that gaming system? Anyway, there is a gaming system where that is heavily featured and one of the most popular ones in there. Yeah, so it's a solid game. I was curious though because I didn't actually play it for this just because I put it 100 hours into it. I think no, I'm pretty good.
Sure.
Plus, also I know it runs like dog poop on the Steam Deck, so I didn't even bother.
I imagine so. Yeah.
But what was your experience coming to it now in the 1896 rendition of it?
Well, given as how I haven't really put that much time into it, I didn't notice a whole lot. Like I know like some of the menu UI was different. But as far as the gaming experience goes, it felt the same. Now, to be honest, though, I didn't actually play a standard match. I played
Hmm.
well. One, I played the tutorial because I didn't
Hmm.
even know they had a tutorial,
Hmm.
so I just was like, okay, I'll run through this. And then I played the one multiplayer match where you're just by yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Um,
forgot the name, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I played that because I never played that before. Because like this is like I mentioned in my review. Like I don't play it too often because
Mm,
I would only really want to play it with a person.
yeah.
Um, because like otherwise I feel like I'm a bit at a disadvantage because when you go play a normal match, you continue like you could be up against people who are in duos or
Yeah.
trios by yourself.
Yeah.
And as someone who plays the game very very casually and doesn't really know it that well,
Hmm.
and I'm going to be going potentially up against people who have been playing for a while. I mean, I
Hmm.
guess there is like a matchmaking thing to try to make sure that doesn't happen, but I don't know how well it does. I remember the one time my brother and I, like, we were matched up against somebody who was like really good, who had
Hmm.
like killed us. Granted, he was solo, so that's probably why they did the match that way.
Hmm.
But anyways, that's more or less why I don't usually tend to play this game because
Yeah.
I don't really want to do it by myself.
Yeah. That was a huge issue. I want to say about at the end of the first year, a lot of people were complaining that playing it solo was just not viable because of that very reason. You're outmatched, even if you are a higher skill than let's say a duo or a trio you come across. Just the fact they've got more people um,
Yeah,
means they've got more chances of downing you. Or if you get downed, that's it. But if you down them, you have to down all three of them.
right,
Otherwise, they could
right,
revive each
right.
other, or yeah,
Unless you do something like burn their body or something like
yeah.
that, or
Oh,
yeah,
you just reminded. I forgot burning the body was the thing. That is I was gonna say a bad word. Such a mean move doing that.
yeah, yeah,
Because if
yeah.
these engagements could go on for ages, you're just like just waiting it out. It's like, well, you're not gonna come. I'm gonna burn your friend's body. And there have been
Right.
because I'm very much the medic in the MMORPG. My goal is like I gotta support these people. I gotta go help my friends, and then like
That's
run in
usually
there
me.
into the burning barn, guns all pointed at me, and I end up getting killed. I'd say I never learn as well. That's my problem with these games. Like to my friend's frustration, I never learn, and so
Yep.
my reptile brain kicks in, or I guess in this case my dog brain's like I gotta go help my master and run over there and
Right.
try and get my friends up
Right.
and get us all
What are
killed
you
in the
doing?
process.
No.
Yeah, leave me to die, damn it!
Yeah.
Leave me to die. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. Yep. That's like
yeah,
anytime I play like Battlefield or something,
yeah,
I'm always basically the medic because I'm not good at playing any other. I will like humor myself and play
yeah,
those other classes
yeah,
sometimes, but if I
yeah,
actually want to have good points on the leaderboard, like the
yeah,
scoreboard, I have to play medic.
yeah.
So one last thing I wanted to touch on was I don't know if you noticed this, but there was a Hunt Showdown 1896 Choice Essential DLC bundle.
Huh?
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so it's like a they have all this different DLC, and DLC for Hunt Showdown is just cosmetic.
Mhm,
But I think this is the first time they've ever done that where they basically had because like this bundle it doesn't include Hunt Showdown.
mhm.
It only has all these like cosmetic DLC, and it's basically to target those like people who that sort of like that have that FOMO, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I could if I get this now, I can get all of the DLC, even though the DLC is pretty much useless.
Yeah.
Um, and I just was like, I don't know, when I saw that, I couldn't help but feel like a little bit like ew
Yeah.
towards it all.
The only other time that's happened recently was with Destiny 2, right?
Oh, I forgot
With it,
about that.
yeah.
Yeah, they did it was like the more recent DLCs, right? Because they were
Yeah.
already giving you Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Now, normally what we would get is we'd get like a coupon.
Right, right.
And so maybe that's their approach because I noticed that we didn't get a coupon this time, so maybe their approach is nobody uses the coupon, so instead, why don't we go make a separate bundle
Right.
that has like all this stuff and then people will buy that.
Wow.
Maybe they
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that more. I don't know, but I just the wording of it all was like the choice essential DLC bundle.
Yeah. That's You're
Like if
right.
it's like you better get this because
Yeah.
it's essential, kind of thing.
Yeah, you need to have it, and now's your only chance to do it. Yeah. You know, you're exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, I guess that's how they get you though. But
Oh, yeah.
I think the thing is though is that for people who aren't really quite familiar enough with Hunt, I mean, granted, this is kind of their own fault. They're like just buying impulsively
Hmm.
without doing any
Hmm.
research, but those people might be kind of like duped, I suppose, into thinking like, oh, I could get all the
Hmm.
DLC for Hunt Showdown. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Hmm.
I could get some extra stuff or whatever in the game, and then
Yeah.
they find out that it's all
And
just
it'll help me
cosmetic
win.
anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Either help me win or add like a new map that they
Hmm.
don't know about, or like a
Hmm.
new character or something like that. Because like all this looks like they're different characters, and I guess in a way they are, but it's
Mm.
just like they don't play any different. They
Hmm.
just look different.
Hmm. Etrian Odyssey II HD.
Okay, yeah. Then this is another one where my thoughts were pretty much the same. When we were kind of like talking about it just through text chatting on Discord,
Yeah.
when you said like it was really recent since the last one, like I knew that it had been recent,
Yeah.
but I didn't remember that it was November
Yeah.
recent.
Like
Like
2 months
literally just
ago.
2 months ago,
It's
we got the first one.
way too fresh in the memory.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I can't believe that they did that.
No.
Actually, it's quite crazy because like even if like somebody was like big fans of this,
Yeah.
like there's a good chance that they probably haven't finished playing the first
I
one yet,
guarantee they
and
haven't.
now they're getting the
Yeah.
second one.
Yeah.
Um, so I was very
Yeah.
surprised.
I could forgive them if it was different enough or like innovative or did something, but you said it in your video as well. It's exactly the same. I
Right,
could have
right,
I could have honestly like thought I'd mistakenly booten up the old game instead.
right, right,
And I,
right.
yeah. Or rather, like I could have gone to boot up one, boot up the other one, and not even realized.
Not even know. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Not even know. Like I was struggling to try and find differences. Like I
Yeah.
know that the characters were different at the various like the inn, the
Yeah.
shop or whatever. I know that those
Yeah.
characters were different, but like they're not real characters. They're
No.
just portraits with a name
Yeah.
and then they're just a service
Yeah.
for the player to
Yeah.
recover their health or buy new weapons and stuff. So, you know, but like the dungeon itself, I was like, wait a minute. This has to be the exact same dungeon from the
Yeah.
first game, right? It has to be. Um yeah, nothing really felt different at
No.
all.
Not a single thing.
Um
And I'm curious as to what the timeline was for those original games from release of the first to the release of the second.
right, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I imagine that the turnaround time must have been really quick because they're just
Yeah.
too similar. Like I I would be surprised if the second game had any sort of like new gameplay mechanic.
Mm. I could kind of understand where they're coming from. It's a big studio, like, and doing that. Like, for some of it, I could forgive it. Like, especially if it's like a hardcore fan of the first game. It's a new way of exploring the same game, so I can understand that. But the thing that annoyed me like the most was for character creation, the character artwork. The ones that I saw were exactly the same as the first
Exactly the
game.
same.
And
Yes.
that came across to me as
Yes.
so lazy.
Yep. I completely agree. I saw that too and I was like,
Yeah.
seriously? This really? They didn't even buy like okay, maybe you use the same art, sure, but
Mm,
add new art then? Like,
mm,
really?
yeah.
Um, yeah, the only new character portrait art was the ones for the classes that didn't exist
Yeah.
in the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah.
I also thought that like this could have been like a version where yeah, sure you want to do the same game, but
Yeah.
like make the quality of life just a little bit better. Like
Yes.
I noticed like one thing when you created your heroes and you go to like put them in formation,
Yeah.
they still don't tell you what their class was.
No.
Like, it's just whatever you name them, and you just have to hope that
Yeah.
you remember.
Yeah.
And I was better with naming this time, so I, like, remembered who was who, but it
Yeah.
still was, like, that's such an easy thing that they could have put in. Or
Yeah.
another thing I would have liked to have seen is when you're registering new heroes, if it had, like, a little number
Mhm.
next to the classes so that it could tell you how many of each type you
Well, that's
already
a good
had.
idea. Yeah.
So that you didn't just accidentally make yourself the
Yeah.
exact same, hero.
Yeah.
Or maybe it does do this, but I didn't think so. But like have like maybe a way to save party loadouts,
Mm.
so you could like switch between different groups of adventurers.
Yep.
Um, I mean, for those who want that, I mean, I don't know. I had read like when for the first game, somebody left a comment saying that you do largely just use like the same party that you
Yeah.
go in with, and you don't ever really change.
Yeah.
Which I guess that makes sense, but you know,
But some people are going to change it up. Oh, or your party gets down and you want to mix it up. Yeah, yeah, I get that.
right,
Yeah.
right, right, or just experiment with a different
Yeah.
class, and for people who like theory crafting and stuff like
Yeah.
that, I could see this
Yeah.
be the perfect game for that kind of stuff.
I mean, you're given like 30 slots to register for the guild or something like that.
Right, right,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, no, it felt very much like the exact same
Mm.
game, and it's just like it's amazing to me that this game, this remaster that they did, it's $40, US
Oh, you're
dollars. Like
kidding.
that's
It's
a lot of money
it's a
for
lot of
this
money
when
for
it's
a mediocre
basically just a
game.
carbon copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
They're basically just riding off of the nostalgia of
Yeah.
everybody who owned a DS
It's
as a
wild.
kid and was like, I want to play this game again, and they play it for like an hour and they
Mm.
never touch it again.
So I wasn't even thinking of it in terms of like remaster versus the original as well. So like for me, the second game feels like a cash grab. But then
Oh
to
yeah,
remaster that
100%.
is like a cash grab on a cash grab. It's
Yeah,
just blows
yeah,
my mind.
yeah. I I am even I'm wondering what exactly the this supposed like remaster even does, other than making it run on like modern hardware,
Yeah,
basically,
well,
like
anything
just
other
like the visuals
than
look good.
DS, which I'm
Yeah,
sure most people don't have anymore.
right,
I had one. I have no idea where it is now. So yeah.
right. I traded mine into a trade-in shop ages
Yeah,
ago.
see? There you go.
Oh my oh my god. there's an there's an Etrian Odyssey 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
one of my viewers
maybe
warned me.
maybe in March?
Yeah. Yeah, every
In
two
March we'll
months.
get it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, when this happens, I get the sneaking suspicion they're just not selling them. It's just not going, and so
That's
there's like, yeah,
what I
just
assumed.
chuck it to bundle and get people at least playing
That's
it.
what I assumed. Like I don't understand why they would have thrown it in the bundle so soon after giving the first one. And it's just got it. Yeah, it's got to be exactly that.
Mm. Literally
They're not
can't get
selling them,
rid of
so it's
it.
just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's just get as whatever little bit that we can. Let's get that."
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe we will get the third one. If not in 2 months, sometime this year, maybe.
I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. And probably not that much at
I
all.
can't wait.
Yeah. Oh, I can wait. I can wait.
Nice day for fishing.
Hmm. We had the exact same take on this one. I think every note, every point you made, I echoed exactly. So let's start with the positives then. It runs really well on the Steam Deck, which you probably expect.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like 90 frames per
If you
second,
told me
6 hours.
otherwise, there'd be a huge problem.
um, and of course, like it's turned like the most mundane, usually like add-on part of RPG games, which is the fishing minigame, into like the full main game as well. So that's pretty cool. I think like kudos for being innovative and trying that. And I do get this is like Viva la Dirt, and
Yeah.
it's like it's pandering to the fans basically.
Mhm.
And so it's got a lot of those in jokes in there, and I do watch their stuff every now and again, so I do get the jokes there.
Right.
But it doesn't have any longevity, I don't think. Even as
No.
someone who is I would say like a semi fan of the show, like I enjoy the stuff at least, and got the jokes that were in there. But
Right.
I mean, the fishing's like fighting stuff is kind of interesting, but it's not really that fun. It just ends up becoming mash the A button, press a button to use a
Yeah.
skill. It's the same thing over and
Yep.
over. It gets like very quickly gets stale. And you said I didn't think about it as well, but like there's a lot of fetch quests in this,
Yep.
a ridiculous
Yeah,
amount.
back and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of back and forth.
And I'm curious because you said as well, like they make fun of that in the show. So was it being ironic and doing it because of that, or was it just filler? Like, yeah, I wasn't quite sure.
I imagine it's got to be, yeah, probably a bit of irony. My guess it's also just that it's like, since it's in the show,
Mm,
they had to put it in the game,
mm,
but that doesn't translate over well because like somebody's literally on the other
yeah,
end playing this thing.
yeah.
Um,
Unless they made like if they drew attention to it, like it being a fetch quest and well, like that being the joke, then I would say, oh yeah, it's done for the irony, and sure, it's like annoying for the player, but it's part of the joke, ha ha ha. But I don't once remember them drawing attention to, oh, there's lots of fetch quests here, and
I think the only real time is like when the garlic farmer Greg was like, "Oh, how did you accept this quest?" kind of thing.
oh
Like, you're not
right,
an adventurer
very
kind of
early
thing.
on, yeah,
Cuz yeah, it's supposed to be like this, they live in this
yeah,
MMORPG,
yeah,
and so like all these things are supposed to be like, go there, do this,
right,
kill X number of this. Um I think one thing that was kind of like a joke of like basically like how like NPCs always kind of like reset in MMORPGs because they always got to be ready for like that next adventure comes in.
hmm
But like there's the one bit that they kept doing with the blacksmith's hammer. He's like, "Oh, I lost my hammer. Can you
that
find
was
it?"
good,
And it's
that was
always
very
in that
funny,
well.
yep,
Yeah,
that was
like
well
so it's
done,
like, yeah, like that kind of stuff is good, but
yeah,
yeah, like the overall sort of like gameplay itself just was, it fell short.
yeah,
Um I think the other thing too is that um I didn't mention this in the review, but I was thinking this was basically that I felt that it was maybe like too much like Honeywood or Viva La Dirt League or whatever,
mm,
where so like their skits are like, maybe like 5 minutes long,
hmm
about maybe 10 minutes on the longer side.
mm,
And usually I get that, I get my fill of it, and then I'm done.
mm,
I remember I had this similar problem like when they made kind of like a short film where, funny enough, it followed this same fisherman character, Balin,
mm.
and it was like a 40-minute thing.
Oh wow.
And I watched it and I was like, it was okay, but I didn't really like, I just thought that it was like, the joke started falling flat for
Yeah.
me after a while. Like, it wasn't like, didn't really, it wasn't like, cuz like they have to have like 40 minutes to constantly hit, and
Yeah.
that's just not going to
That's not
happen.
possible.
A-
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's like the same thing here with the game, but I think that's just kind of like a thing, just my own like personal preference. Like I don't usually watch like comedy movies
Mm.
that often, and there's only like few comedy movies that I've watched that I feel like I was like, oh yeah, that was like funny and I liked it.
Mm.
But I don't go out of my way to watch comedy because it's just usually not my thing.
Mm.
And I think I kind of had that same thing here with this game. So maybe
Mhm.
somebody else might actually, that might be enough to carry them through even despite the not so great
Mm.
gameplay.
Did you get through to the bit where you started jumping?
That was roughly about where I ended. Like
Yeah.
I got the sandals to jump, and
Yeah.
then that was about my hour, and I
Yeah.
kind of like stopped
Yeah.
shortly
That's
thereafter.
exactly where I stopped as well. So I guess they're aware that the gameplay does get a bit stale, so they've tried to mix it up. So I'm curious to see how much it changes up over the course of the game. But
Right.
I don't. I never like going to the end of the game.
Right. I think even on their Steam page they mentioned like how like the boat kind of acts as your steed, and you go to like different areas
Mm.
of the world on the boat. And
Mm.
so maybe there's like different stuff in these other places, and it's
Okay.
a bit more, I don't know, engaging
Yeah.
than than what it was. But
Yeah.
it's like what you said, like the fishing, while it's like commendable that they tried something different,
hmm
it just I it ends up just basically being like a fight,
hmm
a very typical kind of like um and below average, honestly, because like it's
Mm.
like you said, it's
Mm.
mash this button
Yeah.
and then occasionally press a few other buttons,
Yeah.
and then that's it, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I did come across something that was obviously it's nowhere near enough to carry the game, but something I did like, and that was the right joystick. If you did left, up, or right, it did one of those three lines that Balin says, like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
"Morning, nice day for fishing," and
Yeah.
"huh."
Yeah.
Yeah, which was like
Yeah.
I did like that, but again, it's like a little gag thing, and that's that's really all this is. It's just like a few gags here, and that's like it honestly, I think that 40-minute short film is a great comparison because that's what it feels like. It's those few gags have just been dragged out a bit too long.
Right. Right, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest though, when they first announced this
Mm.
game, like on their channel, I had no interest really because I
Right,
that
okay.
didn't sound like something that was going to be all that great to me. But then
Okay.
again, that's like my standard how I view like it's like that same thing with like oh movie games
Yeah.
oh it's gonna be
Yeah.
horrible
Yeah.
kind of thing. So that's sort of how I viewed this
Yeah.
as well.
I was interested, like I was intrigued, and I was hoping
Okay,
it would work out. I saw potential for it to be really good if the gameplay was really good, but yeah, unfortunately it wasn't.
right, right.
Metal Slug Tactics.
Okay, yeah, Metal Slug Tactics. So, as you know, I tend to play these backwards front.
Yeah.
And this was the first one where I was like, finally, something that is redeemable in this bundle.
So the rest of our conversation is going downhill from here, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But yeah, I quite enjoyed this. Now I kind of like compared it to an XCOM like,
Mm,
which I still kind of like stand by that sort
mm,
of like idea because like it has shooting and it has
yeah.
like cover
Yep.
in it. But somebody had told me in my comments and it's like, oh well, it's actually more like Final Fantasy Tactics, and
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think it is more like Final Fantasy Tactics. And that didn't come to my mind immediately because of those aforementioned things.
Yeah.
Um, but I still think that the gameplay here, though, was kind of interesting with the whole like run and gun sort
Mm,
of tactic. Um, Always trying to like push that offensive
hmm.
rather than trying to like dig in for any sort of defense. And
Yeah.
I suppose when I think back to my time playing like Tactics Advance on the Game Boy
Mm,
Advance. I guess there wasn't too much of just like stand and wait, like there is in XCOM.
hmm.
So maybe the guy has like a really big point that it really is just a Final Fantasy Tactics
Mm.
clone. Um, but I still enjoyed my time with it, and it felt fresh to me.
Oh, 100%. And I think, as you said, it's because of that run and gun aspect.
Yeah.
They could have very easily gone. I didn't think of Final Fantasy Tactics until you mentioned it either, but they could have very easily gone and looked at all the other strategy games that are out there now, XCOM, Hard West, all that stuff, and it's all cover based, and even some of the
Yeah.
faster ones like on the Switch, you've got the Rabbit Kingdom one. That is faster,
Okay.
without a doubt, but you still get behind cover and shoot, and there is a little bit of weight and stuff. Whereas this is like, nah, run straight at the enemy and try and gun them down. If there's some cover next to you while you're running, fantastic. If not, who cares? Like, I'm going so fast,
Yeah.
they have to try and hit me. Um, which, as you said, it's such a fresh take on the genre, and it's
Yeah.
such a cool way of because obviously this is a huge spin off from what they usually do, but
Oh yeah.
it's trying to
Yeah.
keep what makes the Metal Slug games Metal Slug in an
Hmm.
entirely different genre, and I think they've done really well.
From what little I know of the Metal Slug franchise and what I've seen, I'd agree with that. Like it does seem like it's trying to be, very fast paced and just like shoot everything in sight kind of style of tactics
Mm.
game. Um and I don't know if this is a thing in the franchise in like in the standard games, but the synchronization
Oh yeah,
between the characters
yeah,
was really cool.
yeah.
Um,
I only remember
it
that
made me
from.
constantly. Oh, sorry.
No, you go, you go.
Oh, I was gonna just say, like, it made me constantly like think, like, oh, how can I like set these people up
Yeah.
so that they can like do like, a one,
Yeah.
two or 1, 2, 3 or something like that.
There's only one other game recently I played, which is this same style of tactics game, like that isometric strategy kind of map kind of thing. And that was actually the Persona 5 Tactica.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember us talking about that very briefly. Yeah.
So that one, like I've stopped playing it. It just drags on and it's stopped being fun anymore. But
Right.
the cool thing that did keep me going for as long as I did on that one was the synchronization. You can actually like form a triangle, and it's very cool. Um, there must have been another game that's done it at some point though. I'm trying to rack my brain. Like I kind of saw a little flash in my mind's eye then of a game that did something similar, but it's just not coming to me. But it's you're right. It's not done very often.
Well, I know that even like Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't know if
Mm.
Advance had it, but I'm pretty sure it did. But the one on the DS, I'm pretty sure did have like a thing where you could kind of like chain attacks together
Hmm.
with different characters,
Nice.
and stuff like that. So I mean, certainly,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
You know what?
it's seen its time in other games, but
Probably like a Fire Emblem game, and if not the whole series, probably did the same thing as well. Actually.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
definitely started
Yep.
doing things like that. I mean, they
Mm.
even had it where like you could like pair them up,
Yeah.
in the later Fire Emblem games.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is like certainly of the I don't want to say XCOM style of strategy games, but it really is. It's that one where you've got the individual characters on a map and you move them around
Yeah.
turn based. And so for those specific style of games within the larger strategy genre, I think it's not done that often.
No, yeah, I can't think of. I mean, perhaps it's been done, but as far as the ones that
Mm,
I've played, I can't think of anything quite like
mm,
that. Um, Actually, it made me sort of like think of like how that could be cool for something in like XCOM,
mm.
but
Getting the sync stuff, yeah. Is
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
XCOM moddable? Maybe it is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was I don't I'm sure it's probably the same for XCOM 2, but I know like one super popular mod was called like the Long War
Oh,
for
yes, of
XCOM
course.
Enemy
It was,
Unknown.
yeah. So it's very
Yeah.
moddable. Yes, I'm sure
Yeah.
someone could do it if they wanted to.
Yeah.
It'd probably
Yeah.
break the game, but yeah.
Yeah.
I
But yeah, oh, I'm sorry, go
no, no,
on.
you go, you go.
I was just gonna say that yeah, I quite enjoyed it. The one thing, so I did have a commenter saying though that the run and gun like in practice, like as you get further on, that particular person didn't feel that it was quite as it didn't really like make its mark as well as it could have
Mm,
um in the game. And then the other thing that I kind of suspected and feared was that they also had said that like to unlock some of these characters and I guess
mm,
to get this like secret boss requires a lot of grinding.
yeah,
And since it is also a roguelite, I
mm,
pretty much expected that. And I mean, you know me, like
yeah,
that is not something I want to do.
no,
So despite me liking this, I imagine that like whenever I do sit down to play it, if I ever do sit down to play it again,
yeah,
I doubt I'm going to be sitting through like the whole, time that I would need to get
yeah,
everything. Just 'cause I doubt that it would stay that engaging for me for that long,
yeah,
especially doing the same stuff over and over and
yeah.
over again.
See, I have to agree completely. I'm usually pretty okay with roguelites. I don't mind a bit of grind. But this
Hmm.
game, I think its biggest detriment is that it is a roguelite. I would have loved to have what it's called really, but like a perpetual campaign or an ongoing campaign
Yeah,
or a continuous campaign where the characters like eventually grew stronger. I didn't have these like get these unlocks and get these new abilities only to have them yanked away from me when I inevitably die on the ridiculously hard boss fight, mind you. I think it could have been a lot more fun. I think, like, sure, it would have killed their. Oh, you can spend like 48 or 120 hours in this game. It's got a lot of content. I think it would have given them like 8, maybe 10 hours of a really solid game that a lot more people would have enjoyed.
right. I was just thinking, if they did want to have more replayability, they could have still had like yeah, like this perpetual campaign,
Mm,
but maybe like when you get to certain there'd be like certain like intersections where it'd be like to do this mission or this mission, and this mission will unlock this other character, and then this
Mm,
mission will unlock this other
that's
character.
a good
And
idea.
then for that playthrough, you have that character, but you don't have the other one. So
Yeah,
then people who want to see all the characters would have to go back and replay the game.
yeah,
But you wouldn't have to deal with all this like BS of the roguelite aspect of it,
yeah,
and yeah.
yeah,
But yeah. I was gonna say, like, when I started playing this game and I was like, oh wow, yeah, I was like excited about it. And then I like
yeah,
realized that it was a roguelite. I was like,
yeah,
oh, but it's also a roguelite though.
yeah.
Man.
I had the exact same reaction, and I usually like roguelites. I was disappointed to find out that this one was. So yeah.
Right, right.
No, I'm curious the reasoning behind going roguelite on this one. Is it because they wanted to squeeze more out of it, or is it because they thought that's what's hot right now and that's what people are going to enjoy?
You know, I imagine it's probably both.
Okay.
It's probably
Yeah,
both.
makes sense.
Um, because I mean, like, I mean, we just talked about it. Like, there's really no good reason to make this a roguelite, really.
No, no.
It could have been like much better off not being a roguelite,
Mm,
and still would have done probably just as well as it has. However well that was, I don't know,
yeah.
but yeah, yeah. Well, that kind of ended that one with a little bit of a sour note.
No, that's
Now
all right.
time to get into the
Used
next
to
two
my bad.
games.
Oh no. Oh no.
Settlement Survival.
Ah, if I could bang my head on the table without like causing a big fuss on the microphone, I would, because this one I had the least amount of patience for of all the games in the bundle.
Yes.
So we have been, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, I would say like drowned with the settlement survival games.
Right.
A lot of them. And we've had some, or maybe one decent one and after that mediocre ones, and if you're gonna like do this kind of genre and put it in the bundle, it's got to be an amazing game, and this one is anything but. It's just average, it's on par, and that's it.
Yep.
And that's all I have to say for it. I had, like I said, so little patience for this game. I didn't want to play it. I did not enjoy playing it for the review, and because I didn't have to sit through there for an hour to do like a deep review on it. I didn't. I stopped as soon as I was at the end of my patience.
I wanted to, but my principals told me that I had to sit out
Should
the
tell your
hour.
principals to shut up. Cause
I know, I know, right? I mean, I shouldn't have expected much when the game's literally called
yeah,
Settlement Survival, like the
yeah.
most creative thing they, you
That's
know.
uh,
Um, it just amazes me that this game. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm so harsh on it, but like, I was just surprised that this game has like very positive
you're
reviews.
kidding.
Um, it had well, okay, I guess that's like the English reviews. Well, it says total reviews in all languages very positive, so it's still
Okay,
very positive.
okay.
And I, I mean, this is like it's like what like said in my review. Like if there was a playbook for how to make these games, they made that exact game. Like they didn't do anything
No,
really different with it at
no.
all. Like I was thinking to myself, the game that kept popping in my head was Banished.
Mm,
And when Banished came out, it was basically like, oh, this is like so good and
mm,
everything because like that style of like survival city builder
mm,
hadn't really been done
mm,
quite that much, if at all, at that point. So it was like a really fresh take on city builder.
mm.
Um, now, if you were to release Banished in this day and age, like nobody would bat an eyelash. That would
Right.
not be like that great of a game
Yeah.
anymore because it's been done to death. And like Settlement Survival felt like Banished to me. It felt pretty much exactly like Banished
Hmm.
other than it had like a low poly aesthetic
Hmm.
rather than a slightly more realistic aesthetic that Banished had.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I actually this low poly aesthetic is I don't know how familiar you are with various like video game assets, but I'm fairly sure this is from the Cinti art pack that goes on sale on Humble like all the time.
Right. Okay.
These low poly, so it's kind of gained a kind of reputation. Like I don't want to say that it's like, it's not like this isn't like a asset flip or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's certainly not that. Like
Yeah.
obviously effort was put in, but it's become a little bit synonymous
Hmm.
as that way because like so many games use their these Cinti art packs because they
Right.
are like really good like
Yeah.
low poly art. But
Yeah.
when I first saw that, I was like, I couldn't help, like there was just a little bit of bias in the back of my mind, like, oh boy, here we go again.
Right. I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
But that being said, like, it's like I said in my review, like I mean, everything it did fine. It
Yeah.
was okay, but it just was so uninspired.
Yeah.
Like it
See,
just
I don't get that from like a game development point. Like, what's the point in reinventing the exact
right.
same game that's been done
Why
over and
would you
over
do
and
that?
again? Like, do something new or like completely new, or if you're gonna like do something that's been done before, then change it up a bit. Like, bring something new to it, or something that's gonna like turn heads and make people say, "Oh yeah, I do want to try that one. That looks pretty cool." Not the same game they've done over and over again. So like by doing that, you've already pigeonholed yourself into a very very niche market, and that's the gamer who only plays these settlement survival games.
Right, it's not gonna branch out beyond that.
No.
Yeah, exactly. My only guess that I could think of for why um a game dev or development studio would do that is because they are inexperienced with making these kinds of games. So
Right.
it's easier to follow that playbook for their first foray into it, and then
Yeah.
hopefully when they follow up with another game,
I see. Like a
um,
training exercise,
then
that kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, then they
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that makes sense. That makes a
But
lot of sense. Yep. And I mean, you're gonna make it, you might as well sell it, right? Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right, right, exactly. And I mean, I mean, they've gotten a grand total of what was it? What 7,432 reviews, and I think the
That's
supposed
decent.
ratio for that is like 1 out of every 10 or something like
Yeah.
that. Like leave a review. So
Okay.
like they I mean, I don't know what their development time on this was or how big their team was,
Yeah.
so who knows? Maybe there wasn't really net profit there, but I mean, just from that alone, like they obviously moved a decent number of copies
Mm.
for such a really just a
Mm.
really like I don't know. Like I'm not like I don't want to say boring because clearly like a lot of people did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it just again, I guess uninspired. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the word
Yeah.
for it. Like
Yeah.
it just is
Yep.
it's soulless to me. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
soulless.
I think that sums it up really well. I do have to award them though. They have the smallest text size I've ever had to date playing a game on the Steam Deck.
Oh boy.
It was so hard to read the text. Like I've had like squinted. I've strained to read, but I wouldn't say like difficulty reading. But this was so bad. Like I'm pretty sure, is it meant to be verified? I can't remember, but it certainly runs fine to the Steam Deck. So I don't know why
Let's
you
see.
wouldn't consider that.
Um um
If it's small text, it's usually like playable. They say. So let me have a look.
I'm not seeing. Oh, playable.
Yes.
Steam Deck
Yep.
compatibility playable.
I'm sure if you click on that there, it'll explain the reasons, and I'm sure it lists the text size as one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some in-game text is small and may
there
be
you
difficult
go.
to read.
Some in-game text. I'm pretty sure it was all of them except for like the main menu buttons. And that, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Right. The title,
Yeah, the
Settlement
title.
Survival. I could read
I
that.
can read the title. I have no misconceptions of what the name of your game is. Rest assured.
Right. Oh boy. But yeah, this one like I mean like you said, we've just had like so many of these games just in Humble Choice bundle.
Mm,
I'm alone. Like,
mm.
we're talking about city builders and ones that we've gotten, and I know that you enjoyed Synergy, but I didn't really enjoy Synergy that
Yeah.
much. But like if I had to choose, like I would of course choose Synergy.
Oh,
Like
yeah. Compared to this? Yeah.
even just thematically and graphically,
Yeah.
they went for something
Yeah.
different. Um, and yeah, they tried even something different with like the gameplay with like, with the plants
Yeah.
and everything like
Yep.
that. Whereas, yeah, this I guess the one like box back of the box feature that they put on their Steam page that I guess is kind of different is being able to shape the landscape. I didn't know that you can do that in the
I
game
saw
because I didn't
that.
really follow the tutorial,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's enough to like make it seem like your game's unique. It's not like
No.
that's not something we haven't seen in other games.
Yeah. Like back to like the Sim City builders, I think was like the very first ones you could do stuff like that.
Right. Right. So it's pretty much a by the numbers
Hmm.
kind of thing. And it's like I said, like to anyone who you said just a little bit ago that this is literally only for the fans of that play these games and only play these
Mm.
games. But like those people who only play these games, they already have like much better
Hmm.
games that they would probably be more than willing to go back to,
Mm.
that I don't see any reason why they would want this game. Now, clearly I'm wrong because they sold a bunch of copies,
Mm.
but in my mind, I guess
Yeah.
that's what makes sense to me.
Yeah. Makes sense to me too. So I think we can accept that as reality and move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Wizard of Legend 2.
Okay, now this one, while I was kind of hard on this one as well, it was by far a much better step up than Settlement Survival was
Yeah.
for me. I I can't remember now. Did I place that as a don't bother with, or did I place that as a weak recommendation? I think it was a don't bother with.
I don't remember, but I
Um,
remember you disliking the game.
right. I mean, it's because it was because kind of like Settlement Survival, I felt that it was I thought that it was, like, fairly standard.
Yeah.
I know I had, like, a few comments who were basically just like, "Oh, it's basically just a Hades clone, and it's like
Yeah.
everything is similar to Hades." I knew that there was some inspiration there, but I didn't know to what extent because
Hmm.
I've never played Hades,
Right. Okay.
so I couldn't really say that for sure, but some people, oh, yeah, basically were just like, "No, everything's basically the same." So,
Really? I've played Hades as well.
is
I
that
wouldn't say it's the
yeah,
same. I wouldn't say it's the
okay.
same. But having
I was
said
wondering what you
that,
thought, yeah.
there's a lot of other games. I think you said I hadn't actually played the first one, but I think you said a lot of people were saying the first one was better, and this one didn't quite live up
Yeah,
to that one.
so review-wise, it didn't do so hot, and when
Right.
I checked that 'cause when I played the game, I was actually surprised that it only had a mixed rating because I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, it's not
It's
that
very low.
bad."
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's because of the fact that many of the reviews stated how the first one was a lot better,
Okay.
and that this one just didn't capture the magic that the first one
Right.
had.
See, I played another game very similar to this, Sworn, which is still in early access. And again, I would need to look up the facts, but I suspect Wizard of Legend came out, and then Sworn, and then this. But for me, playing this game, having played Sworn, I'm like, Sworn does it better. Like, it's pretty much the same game though. It's like almost identical. But I'm just trying to like go through my head and process what for me made Sworn better. And of course, it helped that I was playing that with friends co-op and put a decent amount of time into it. I'd say at least 10 hours. But
Okay.
that one there, it's basically it's the whole story of Camelot, King Arthur, Merlin, that kind of stuff. But
Okay.
King Arthur's gone corrupt, and the Knights of the Round Table have gone corrupt, and you're helping Merlin take down King Arthur, basically. So, like, right there, the theme is very interesting, as opposed to this one, you're trying to, go through a wizarding school and become an awesome wizard.
Right, right, it was such a basic concept that
Yeah,
was just like, "Yeah, just complete the trials," like,
yeah,
that's it?
yeah.
That's it? Yeah, yeah,
So, like, thematically, it's so low stakes, as opposed
yeah.
to like you're trying to take down King Arthur. And the whole thing about it is very grim, and kind of that dark kind of, I wouldn't say like Diablo kind of thing, because Diablo is much darker and much more sinister, but it's still got like that darker kind of edge to it. That's really quite fascinating. I think Hades had that too, being like the son of the Lord of the Underworld.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, even just from what you're telling me about it, it sounds like it'd be really interesting to
Mm.
come across, like, the various I'm assuming the knights are, like, the bosses,
Yeah,
like Lancelot or
yeah,
Galahad or Gawain or something like that, Yeah, and I imagine it must be like, pretty cool to come across this sort of like dark fantasy,
Yeah.
like sort of evil take
Yep.
that they have, versus, yeah, again, like Wizards of Legend is just some random.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand what the bosses quite were. Like they were supposed to be really powerful wizards, but I didn't like. Are these like teachers in the school? Like, well, some of them were like mentioned to be like kings or something like that, or like rulers. And I
Right.
was like, am I fighting like these strong wizards of ages long past? I
Yeah.
didn't really understand it.
Just a bit all over the place then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did fight the first, well, I think it was the first boss, like some wind boss who I thought was the teacher laying the smack down on his students. So for daring to try and become a good wizard, yeah, whatever.
I think that the bosses are different, because like every time
Makes
I
sense.
died in a run and started
Yeah.
up again, I would like be facing somebody else as
Yeah.
like my, and like Hades though, they actually would sort of like comment on, like have sort of like context, like narrative comment, like because like I chose lightning as like my element, so they would make mention to that, like, oh,
Oh, nice.
you're lightning kind of. So it was like, it was kind of cool. And I had sort of wondered, like, maybe if I fell to this boss and then like came back to go fight the boss again, would he or she make mention to that original encounter, like
Right.
what they
Yeah.
did in
Yeah.
Hades? Um, so that stuff's kind of neat,
Mm.
but uh, I don't know. At always the risk of like being completely unfair, it is one of those things where it's like I haven't played Hades yet, so
Hmm.
why wouldn't I just go and play Hades?
Yeah.
Like if that's like the biggest inspiration, like it sounds like I should just go play. And I own Hades too, so I
Oh,
really
really?
have no excuse. Yeah, I have no excuse.
It's a good game. I don't think I
Yeah.
finished it, but I did enjoy it enough. Again, at the risk of being burnt at the stake like a witch, I don't think it was worth all the hype. But I think it's a decent game. It's done well. My favorite roguelite of all was Dead Cells. And I don't care what anyone says, like
Okay.
Hades does not hold a candle to Dead Cells. That was an amazing game.
That has been one I've been wanting to play for a while, but I actually don't own that one, so I have a little bit of an excuse,
Oh,
even though it's like what, 10 years old at this point now,
it's
or
amazing.
something.
And obviously it is different. It's a 2D platformer roguelite.
Yeah.
But the movement, the combat is so slick. The story is really interesting. I won't give anything away, but the story is absolutely fascinating. When you think you've beaten the game, you haven't, is all we'll say. You
Oh,
definitely haven't beaten the
okay,
game.
okay.
And even getting to that
That's
point is really hard.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting just in like how fast paced it seemed as like a Metroidvania.
Mm.
Um, I thought that seemed pretty cool. Like, isn't there even like a time, maybe all the time, but I thought there's like some sort of like timer kind of mechanic in it, maybe?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I know
That's
they time your
okay.
runs for sure.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because I thought there was something there to like encourage like faster, the more fast paced
Oh,
gameplay that it seemed.
there was too. I think you get more rewards for it, or something like that if it's a faster run.
Okay. This Dead Cells was a game that I always like prayed would be in a humble bundle,
Yeah,
like a monthly bundle, and it never happened.
yeah,
And no, not at 2018. I mean, I guess we saw Hunt Showdown in
that's true.
but that was they rebranded recently though, so I think
Yeah,
that's why.
yeah,
They rebranded, I think, last
yeah.
year, and they wanted to get more people like on board.
I think for a multiplayer
So
game, you kind of have to as well, right? You have to raise awareness for it because once the population's gone, that's it. It's not coming back.
right,
Whereas like a
right.
solo game, it can have years of
Yeah, it
longevity
doesn't
if it's
doesn't really
lucky.
matter.
Yeah,
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 like right. It's always ridiculous when you see those articles talking about like, oh, such and such, solo player game has lost 90% of its player base in the first month. It's like,
yeah,
but it's because they played the game and they're
yeah,
done with it now, so
yeah,
that's why they're not playing it
yeah.
anymore.
That's it for this month's episode of Humble Talk. If you've gotten to this point in the video and you haven't done it already, what are you doing? Go and hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to watch more videos on games for PC, then go check out Stealthy Shiroean's channel. If you want to watch more videos for Steam Deck, then make sure to search for DeckusHeadus. That's my channel. Whether you're specced out or decked out, keep it humble.